The film opens right in the middle of the chaotic rush hour Tokyo subway. Our main character, who we will refer to as the Lost Man, is just another ordinary commuter squeezed in among the crowd. He has his headphones on and is trying to zone out from the world around him. Suddenly, a baby begins wailing loudly, and the noise echoes through the entire train car. Passengers start glaring in annoyance. One irritated man finally loses his patience and begins screaming angrily at the young mother, which only makes the baby cry even harder and turns the situation more tense. The Lost Man watches the whole scene unfold, but he deliberately chooses to ignore it completely. He simply cranks up the volume on his music to drown everything out. Right then, his phone buzzes with a call. It is his ex-girlfriend trying to reach him. He quickly declines the call because he is not ready to deal with whatever she might say. At the next station, he steps off the train to escape the crowd. Almost immediately, the phone rings again. This time, he reluctantly answers it. She explains that she is at the hospital right now. A doctor has just confirmed that she is pregnant with his child. She wants to know his honest opinion. Should they keep the baby or not? The news hits him like a shockwave. While he is still processing it and trying to respond, he accidentally bumps into a random passenger, drops his phone on the ground, and misses a big chunk of what she is saying. The shock quickly turns into full-blown panic. His asthma flares up intensely, and he has to pull out his inhaler and take desperate puffs just to calm his breathing and stay on his feet. He manages to tell her that he will take time off work so they can figure this out together. But she responds that he does not need to bother, because she has already made up her mind about what she is going to do. When he presses her to explain what she means, the phone suddenly loses signal, and the call cuts off completely. Frustrated and overwhelmed, he heads down a nearby corridor that has a sign pointing toward Exit 8. The place feels strangely empty. The only other person around is a calm man in a suit walking slowly in the opposite direction. We will come to know him as the Walking Man. The Lost Man passes a sign that reads Exit 0, makes a turn at the corner, and suddenly finds himself right back at the same spot, with the Walking Man strolling by again as if nothing has changed. Confusion washes over him. He decides to keep walking forward, but the same thing happens over and over. He loops back to the exact same place every single time. Eventually, he notices something written on the back of one of the signs. Turn back 3 times. But he does not fully register it at first and just keeps pushing ahead desperately. Then the Walking Man flashes an awkward, eerie smile right at him. Terrified by the unnatural expression, the Lost Man starts running in panic. But no matter which direction he chooses, every path loops him right back to the starting point. In total desperation, he slams his hand on the emergency alarm button on the wall, but nothing happens. It does not work at all. He tries opening the 3 doors lined up along the corridor, but every single one is locked tight. Or then true horror begins. While staring at a poster on the wall, he watches in disbelief as blood starts dripping slowly from the image. He steps back in shock, and even more blood pours down from the Exit 8 sign directly above his head. Overwhelmed by terror, he sprints away as fast as he can. Finally, after what feels like an eternity, the corridor seems to shift slightly. He spots a new sign for Exit 1. A fresh set of instructions appears on the wall. Watch carefully for any anomalies. If you spot even one, turn back immediately. If everything looks completely normal, keep moving forward. Reach Exit 8 to finally escape. One single mistake, and the whole thing resets back to Exit 0. The Lost Man now understands that he has to take this seriously if he ever wants to get out. And he realizes that the blood dripping and the strange "turn back 3 times" message from earlier were anomalies he missed, which is why things reset. He tries speaking to the Walking Man to get some answers or help, but the man completely ignores him every time. Another asthma attack strikes hard when he hits another reset at Exit 0. He uses his inhaler again and forces himself to keep going. This time, he becomes methodical. He takes out his phone and snaps photos of absolutely everything he sees. Every poster on the walls, every door, the emergency alarm, the photo booth tucked in the corner, the lockers, even the Walking Man's face. But when he checks the gallery later, every single photo is ruined by thick yellow static. They are completely useless, so he has no choice but to rely on his memory alone. He walks forward carefully, committing every tiny detail to mind. When he turns around to double-check, he sees the Walking Man smiling at him in that same creepy way again. He immediately recognizes it as an anomaly and turns back right away. The walking man starts following him silently now, which ramps up the fear even more. The lost man panics completely, runs as fast as he can, and trips around a corner in his haste. When he looks back, the walking man is just standing there calmly, staring down at his phone like nothing is wrong. Progress finally shows. The sign now reads Exit 2, but in the next loop, he hears faint crying coming from inside one of the lockers. He cautiously opens it and sees a baby sitting there. He slams the door shut in horror. Instantly, crying echoes from every single locker all at once. And it is a massive anomaly. He bolts backward until he reaches Exit 3. Still breathing heavily, he checks everything again in the next loop. While inspecting closely, he accidentally drops his inhaler on the floor. As he bends to pick it up, he notices that the eyes in all the posters are moving, following him wherever he goes. He grabs the inhaler quickly and retreats all the way back to Exit 4. In later loops, his ex-girlfriend calls him again right in the middle of checking for anomalies. He answers, distracted by the conversation, and does not notice the faint baby cries in the background. Another hidden anomaly. During the call, he finally opens up emotionally. He confesses how guilty he feels for ignoring the mother and baby on the subway earlier, and how no one else helped either. He admits through tears that he does not think he is cut out to be a father at all. He tells her he will see her soon, completely unaware that in this hallucinated moment, she seems to be standing right behind him. The call turns out to be the anomaly itself, and everything resets to 0. The corridor shifts to a sickly yellow tone. In pure rage and frustration, he throws his bag to the ground, has a violent asthma attack, vomits, collapses, and screams in anger for several long seconds. Eventually, he calms himself down, reminds himself not to give up, leaves the bag behind, and starts the whole process over again. Now, at Exit 1 again, he sees a young boy standing there instead of the walking man. He assumes it is another anomaly and turns back, but it resets once more. When he turns around, and he notices the boy has a visible scar on his cheek. He tries to speak to the child, but the boy just runs away. The lost man follows him back to the main area, where the boy points silently at the walking man. A flashback reveals the truth. The walking man was once a normal person who got trapped here too. He found the boy, and earlier a high school girl, stuck in the same place. They tried to team up and escape together. The girl questioned whether this corridor was actually purgatory, mocked the walking man's boring and pathetic routine life, started repeating phrases in a creepy way, glitched unnaturally, and turned out to be an anomaly. They ran from her, but the walking man eventually chose a fake exit alone in desperation, which turned him into the numb, unresponsive figure we see now. The boy was left behind in the loop. Then back in the present, the lost man finally realizes that the boy is not an anomaly at all. He is another real victim. He invites the child to come along with him. From here, the boy and the lost man become reluctant partners. The child points out subtle things silently without speaking. They notice a poster where the art has changed slightly, an anomaly, but the boy pushes forward knowingly, leading them to Exit 1 anyway. In the next loop, a door appears with a knob right in the middle that was never there before. The boy stares at it intently until the lost man notices too. They turn back together and reach Exit 2. Suddenly, all the lights go out. The lost man turns on his phone's flashlight. A loud clang echoes as the ventilation lid falls from above, and blood begins dripping from the open hole. Baby cries echo from inside the vents. Rats start scurrying across the floor, some of them grotesquely fused with human-like parts. One rat opens its mouth and screeches horrifyingly at him. The shock makes him drop his phone, plunging them into darkness again. The boy quickly finds it, and they run together through flickering lights that reveal bloodstains and more creepy rats everywhere. They make it safely to Exit 3. Later, in another loop, a cat darts past them. Then a woman appears in its place. The boy calls her Mama for the first time and tries to run toward her desperately. The lost man realizes it is an anomaly and holds the child back firmly. The woman touches her belly gently and asks the lost man what he wants to do. The struggle causes the boy to pass out from exhaustion. While waiting for the boy to wake up, they share a quiet moment of bonding. The boy explains that he got separated from his mother on purpose because he wanted her to search for him and show she cared. The lost man admits he did something similar to his own mom once as a child. Their conversation reveals that neither of them ever met their fathers. When the boy wakes, he immediately points at the sign where the number 8 is upside down, a subtle hint at the infinity symbol. They continue pushing forward. Another door opens unexpectedly. Inside, the lost man sees a vision of himself back on the subway, ignoring the crying baby and the yelling passenger completely. Overcome with shame, he closes the door quickly. They advance to exit 6. The boy hands him a small shell, saying it is for protection. In the next loop, an alarm suddenly blares loudly, and a massive wave of brown, the murky water floods the corridor. The lost man runs, but the boy trips and falls. The water engulfs them both completely. A dreamlike sequence plays out. The lost man is on a sunny beach with his ex-girlfriend. Their future son is playing happily in the shallow water. The ex tells him she truly believes he will protect their child no matter what. The boy from the corridor appears and gives him the shell again. The lost man hugs his son tightly and plays with him in the waves. Back in the real corridor, the water rages violently around them. The lost man holds on to the sign with the boy in his arms, but the current is too strong. It tears him away from the child and sweeps him off. Moments later, the boy wakes up alone on the floor. The water has vanished, leaving debris scattered everywhere, but the lost man is gone. Since the flood was an anomaly, the boy walks back by himself to exit 7, then disappears around the corner. The lost man reappears shortly after. He sees nothing unusual, so he moves forward until he finally reaches the sign for exit 8, right next to a set of stairs leading up. He looks down at the shell in his hand for a long moment, then begins descending. Normal crowds appear around him again. His phone gets signal back. He buys a drink from a vending machine. Then he calls his ex and promises her, "I am on my way to the hospital right now to be with you." Back on the subway, the same scene replays. The baby starts crying loudly, and the passenger begins yelling at the mother again. This time, the lost man does not hesitate. He turns around, steps forward, and intervenes to help the mother and calm the situation. And that was absolutely insane, right? The Exit 8 takes a super simple game mechanic and transforms it into a brutal, emotional metaphor for guilt, chronic indecision, and the toxic cycles we trap ourselves in. Those anomalies are not random at all. They are direct manifestations of the lost man's buried regrets, the cries he ignored, the responsibilities he avoided, and his deep fear of becoming a father. The boy we meet? He is almost certainly the potential future son the lost man might never have if he does not change his ways, giving him one last second chance to make the right choice. The ending finally redeems him. He speaks up for once, heads straight to support his ex, and breaks free from the loop. Right, but that sideways 8 on the sign, turning into an infinity symbol, leaves a lingering question hanging in the air. Can any of us truly escape our own personal loops forever? Which part hit you the hardest? The constant baby cries that echo his guilt, the painful flashbacks, or that powerful final moment back on the subway? Let me know in the comments below. If this recap gave you serious goosebumps or made you think twice about your own life choices, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so you never miss a twisted recap, and share this with a friend who needs to see it. The next one is going to be even wilder. Thanks so much for watching. Now go out there and face your own anomalies head on. Peace.